It's a good evening to you from here. This is Idea TV News Update. My name is Cynthia Bassey. We begin with the headlines. ANAMBRA enforces ONITSHA market closure with heavy security. Madagascar launches biometric digital ID pilot. Tanzania plans 9,048 factories, targets 6.5 million jobs by 2032. And WIKE threatens sanctions as court orders end to FCTA strike. And Ugandan opposition leader Bobi Wine goes into hiding, taunts army chief after disputed election. Away from Africa, U.S. judge orders acting ICE director to appear in court. And Trump attacks Congresswoman ILHAN OMAR over wealth Somali community. And in health, mental health, psychosocial issues driving suicide case in Nigeria. In business, Cameroon breaks ground on Fisheries Development Fund headquarters. And in sports, Super Eagles captain WILFRED NDIDI mourns father after fatal road accident. And out the news in full, heavy security was deployed at the ONITSHA main market today as authorities enforced the closure ordered by Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo to maintain law and order.
And congratulate those of you who are here. Hear me. Anambra Gadema. I've come with a message. I'm just from Oka. Everywhere is open. Government offices are open. Markets are open. And people are going about their businesses. Then you come down to Onitsha. Come down to main market. The once reputed market as the largest market in West Africa. Okay? Yes, sir. And it is, listen, I have just driven all the way from the junction with Ose to this place. Through much of Johnson, I've seen through Johnson, I've seen through Bright, and the shops locked up. I've peeped inside, a few persons here and there. Okay? Anyone who has not opened, for main market, of all markets, to be shut down. I know that people have done this sit at home on Mondays for quite some time now. And as they say, an abomination that lasts a year becomes culture. No. This can no longer go on in Anambra. Are you hearing me? And I will tell you this. You either decide that you want to trade here or you can go elsewhere. This main market, if you don't want it to open, I'll come and take bulldozer and level it. And I'm very, very serious about it. I'm not joking. Going forward, any Monday, any shop that is not open will be locked for 1 week. And let me tell you this. As I'm speaking to you now, when I finish this whole main market and all the adjoining these things will be locked down for the whole of this week. There will be no market anywhere here. Each Monday will come. If people are not in their respective shops, it will be shut down again. If you like, I don't mind shutting down main market for the remainder of this year. We're not going to allow this. It's plain economic sabotage. And also,
the state government shut the market on Monday after traders failed to open for business despite repeated calls to end the week sit at home. Officials say the action follows concerns over public order and the economic impact of continued shutdowns. Police say the deployment is purely preventive, with officers stationed around the market to restrict movement and prevent unrest. The government warns the closure could last up to 1 month if compliance does not improve. Moving on, Madagascar today launched a pilot phase of a national biometric digital identity system aimed at modernizing public administration and improving access to public services. The program, led by the government through the Ministry of Digital Development, will assign citizens a unique identification number using biometric data, including fingerprints, facial images, and iris scans. Senior officials are taking part in the pilot to test the system ahead of a wider rollout. Authorities say the nationwide registration will begin in April with a target of registering 2 million adults by June 2026. The project is intended to cut fraud, reduce duplication, and speed up the digitization of government services. In another news, Tanzania plans to build 9,048 factories over the next 6 years, a move aimed at creating about 6.5 million jobs by the year 2032. The Industry and Trade Minister Judith Kapinga announced the plan on Saturday, saying it is designed to expand industrial capacity, boost employment, and promote factories in rural and peri-urban areas with a focus on youth entrepreneurship and value-added agriculture. The government says new special economic zones launched in August last year will support the plan through tax incentives, fraud land or free land for local investors, and simplified procedures, with more than 200 factory projects already pre-approved. Now, moving ahead, the Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike has ordered striking FCTA staff to resume work or face legal consequences following a National Industrial Court ruling ending the strike that disrupted public services in Abuja for over a week.
In the spirit of our industrial relationship, with the outcome of today's judgment, what are we likely to see going forward? Would there be a sit-up between the administration and the union to finally...
We have been always disposed to have a dialogue. Like I told you, they have met with the management, they have met with the state agencies. What are the issues? We have talked with them before. But nothing, they give you no problem, nothing will happen before you know they're going to do a different thing. If genuinely, it's okay. We have seen what has gone, what has happened, then we'll talk. But if it's on blackmail, intimidation, I would not agree. If you're not going to hire all the civil servants in the whole world, take over Abuja, not my business.
Speaking today, WIKE accused political actors of hijacking the industrial action and described some workers' demands as frivolous or already addressed. WIKE highlighted government efforts to support staff, including the approval of over 12 billion naira for January salaries and infrastructure investments across the territory. He warned that any further disruption would not be tolerated and claimed that some senior civil servants were sustaining the strike, though the administration would enforce compliance with the law. The FCTA workers under the Joint Union Action Committee January 19th over unresolved welfare concerns. The court issued an injunction on January 21st to halt the strike, with legal proceedings resuming today, the 27th of January, reinforcing the administration's push to restore normal operations. In another news, Uganda opposition leader Bobi Wine, born Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, has gone into hiding following the country's disputed presidential election on the 15th of January, which saw President Yoweri Museveni declared the winner with 71.6% of the vote. In a video shared online, Wine walked in his family graveyard in central Uganda, taunting Army Chief General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, the president's son, for failing to locate him despite an ongoing military hunt. Wine has urged Ugandans to challenge the government within the law, claiming the military's inability to find him exposes the government's weaknesses. The opposition leader went into hiding, fearing for his life after campaigning under heavy security, and his wife Barbara Kyagulanyi was hospitalized following a military raid on their home on the 23rd of January. Kainerugaba admitted to the raid but denied assaulting Wine's wife, describing her claims as exaggerated. The standoff has heightened tensions in Uganda, where Wine commands strong support among young urban voters frustrated by corruption, unemployment, and decades of Museveni's rule. Museveni, now beginning his 7th term, is credited by supporters for maintaining stability, but opposition forces warn that further confrontations could spark unrest. And now we go on a quick break. The news continues when we return.
democratize generative AI. Generative AI, which creates new content like text, images, or music, is becoming more accessible. This trend is enabling businesses and individuals to leverage powerful AI tools without needing deep technical expertise. Tools like DALL-E are already transforming marketing, entertainment, and design. However, as generative AI becomes democratized, concerns about copyright infringement and misuse of content are rising.
Good to have you back. You're still watching Idea TV News Update. Now, the rest of the news. Away from Africa, a federal judge in the United States has ordered the acting head of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Todd Lyons, to appear in court over allegations that the agency failed to comply with a court order on an immigration detainee's bond hearing. District Judge Patrick Schultz in Minnesota ruled on Monday that Lyons must explain why the detainee was not granted a bond hearing within the court-ordered time frame, warning that he could be held in contempt if the explanation is unsatisfactory. The order comes amid heightened scrutiny of federal immigration operations in Minnesota following the fatal shooting of a United States citizen during an enforcement operation and growing political and legal pressure on the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. Still in news away from Africa, United States President Donald Trump has intensified his attacks on Democratic Congresswoman ILHAN OMAR of Minnesota. In a Truth Social post on Monday, Trump supported or suggested that the Department of Justice and Congress were investigating Omar's wealth, claiming she left Somalia with nothing in the 1990s and is now reportedly worth more than $44 million. Omar's latest financial disclosure from May 2025 shows her net worth increased due to her husband, with combined assets estimated between $6 million and $30 million, according to reports from the Wall Street Journal and Politico. Responding on X, Omar accused Trump of deflecting from his failures with lies and conspiracy theories, noting that years of investigations into her finances have found nothing.
The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, is saying that he's actually proud to have the largest Somali community in the country, and his police chief.
Well, then he's a fool.
Well, his police chief is also
I
saying
wouldn't be
that
proud to have the largest Somalian. Look at their nation. Look how bad their nation is. It's not even a nation. It's just people walking around killing each other. Look, these Somalians have taken billions of dollars out of our country. They've taken billions and billions of dollars. They have a representative, ILHAN OMAR, who they say married her brother. It's a fraud. She tries to deny it now, but you can't really deny it because, you know, it just happened. She shouldn't be allowed to be a congresswoman, and I'm sure people are looking at that, and she should be thrown the hell out of our country. And most of those people, they have destroyed Minnesota, okay? Minnesota, you have an incompetent governor. You have a crooked governor. He's crooked as hell, but he's incompetent. Waltz is... He should be ashamed. That beautiful land, that beautiful state, it's a hellhole right now. And the Somalians should be out of here. They've destroyed our country. And all they do is complain, complain, complain. You have her. She's always talking about the Constitution provides me with... go back to your own country and figure out your Constitution. All she does is complain about this country, and without this country, she would not be in very good shape. She probably wouldn't be alive right now. So Somalia is considered by many to be the worst country on earth. I don't know. I haven't been there. I won't be there anytime soon, I hope. But what Somalia, what the Somalian people have done to Minnesota is not even believable. It's not even believable. And a lot of it starts with the governor. A lot of it starts with Barack Hussein Obama, because that's when people started coming in. And you have to have people come in that are going to love our country, cherish our country. They want to kiss our country goodnight. They talk about our country. We want them to pray for our country. This is not the people living in Minnesota. And she's a disaster. She should not be, and her friends shouldn't be allowed. Frankly, they shouldn't even be allowed to be congresspeople.
OMAR, the first Somali American in the U.S. Congress, has been a repeated target of Trump since her 2018 election. His attacks have also included Minnesota's Somali residents, whom he accused of involvement in a welfare fraud scandal. The latest attacks coincide with heightened tensions between Minnesota and the federal government over immigration enforcement and ICE raids. And now in health news, a consultant psychiatrist Dr. Maimuna Kadiri says mental health and psychosocial problems are major drivers of suicide and suicide attempts in Nigeria. Speaking in Lagos, she linked the trend to conditions such as depression, anxiety, mental disorders, social isolation, substance abuse, poverty, financial stress, bullying, and traumatic life events, including bereavement and job loss. Dr. Kadri said warning signs often include prolonged sadness, loss of interest in daily activities, feelings of worthlessness, and change in appetite. She added that rapid urban migration has worsened psychosocial pressures, noting recent cases involving a man who jumped into a lagoon and a 14-year-old who attempted suicide but was rescued, highlighting that many victims do not truly want to die but are overwhelmed by unresolved challenges. Also speaking, mental health advocate Dr. Babatunde Ojewola stressed that suicide is preventable and should never be seen as a solution to life's difficulties. He called for stronger government interventions, reduce access to lethal means, early identification and treatment of mental and substance use disorders, and expanded access to psychiatric care, urging authorities to create platforms where people can openly discuss personal and health challenges before they escalate. In business news, Cameroon has laid the first stone of its Maritime Fisheries Development Fund headquarters in Mbopi, Douala, as part of a national plan to boost domestic fish production from 230,000 tons to 600,000 tons by 2027. The ceremony was presided over by the Minister of Livestock and Fisheries and Animal Industries, Dr. Taiga. The five-story building with office space for around 50 staff and the commercial center on the ground floor will be constructed over 30 months. The project is designed to strengthen the fund's role in professionalizing the fisheries sector, supporting artisanal fisheries, promoting research, and improving distribution channels. Cameroon currently imports over 200,000 tons of fish annually, costing more than 300 billion CFA. Officials said the new headquarters will help reduce import dependence and increase sector efficiency, linking financing and infrastructure with national production targets. Finally, in sport news, Super Eagles captain WILFRED NDIDI is in mourning following the death of his father, Sunday NDIDI, who was involved in a fatal road accident on Tuesday in Umunede, Delta State. He was rushed to a hospital in Agbo, where he was confirmed dead. NDIDI's club, PSYCHOSOCIAL, confirmed the tragedy in an official statement, offering condolences to the midfielder and his family. The death comes just weeks after NDIDI captained Nigeria to a third-place finish at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, where he scored his first international goal and dedicated the celebration to his father. The midfielder has often spoken about the close bond he shared with his father, who raised him in the military barracks in Lagos, and credited his upbringing for his discipline and football career. NDIDI has not yet made a public statement on his father's passing, as tributes online to pour in from fans and the football community. And that's all we have for you on Idea TV News Updates. But before we go, here is a recap of the headlines. We brought to you news that Anambra enforces ONITSHA market closure with heavy security. Madagascar launches biometric digital ID pilot, while Tanzania plans 9,048 factories, targets 6.5 million jobs by 2032. And WIKE threatens sanctions as court orders end to FCTA strike. In Uganda, opposition leader Bobi Wine goes into hiding, turns army chief after disputed election. Away from Africa, U.S. judge orders acting ICE director to appear in court. And Trump attacks Congresswoman ILHAN OMAR over wealth Somali community as well. And in health, mental health, psychosocial issues driving suicide cases in Nigeria. In business, Cameroon breaks ground on Fisheries Development Fund headquarters. And in sport, Super Eagles captain WILFRED NDIDI mourns father after fatal accident. And now, do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms at